viewers, I welcome you to your program, The Platform. At the last episode on your program, we discussed intercultural marriage with the Fatimains. And during that episode, we identified the role that customs and culture play in marriages, identified some tremendous benefits of intercultural marriages, which includes learning new skills, languages, way of life from your spouse, as your spouse exposes you to new things such as music, food, clothing, and so on. Thank you to all our viewers that have contacted us to request more on this topic, intercultural marriage. The platform is your program, and we are here to tackle those life challenges and provide alternative solutions. In response to your numerous requests, we shall continue on our discussion on intercultural marriage. And we have with us a very interesting couple. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel via STO Global Concept. Family and friends, I will be right back. Don't go away. So welcome back from that short break, and with me on set today, I have the Edogbenis. You're welcome on set today.
Thank you.
All right, how are you guys doing?
Good. Good.
I love your earrings,
Thank
Agatha.
you so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And your top is so nice.
Thank
Did
you.
you make that for you?
No, my husband got it for me.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I love that. So, Joe, I'm actually starting from you today. So, can we get to know you more? A little bit about your background, when and how you arrived in Canada. That's the part A of my question.
Oh, thank you so much, madam. I really appreciate inviting us here, and I'm really excited to see what you're doing. It's so great, and I must say I love it here.
Thank you.
And the team is a wonderful team, and there's a lot of work. My background, I will say, kind of interesting because I'm Delta. I'm Isoko. Both parents are Isoko. You know, in Nigeria, you don't claim where you're born and raised. You claim that of your parents. So I'm Isoko from Delta State, but I was born and raised in Ibadan.
Okay.
So I speak a lot of Yoruba more than I speak Isoko.
Oh.
Good enough. I can speak both.
That's great.
And out of my life in Ibadan, I had my primary school, secondary school, University of Ibadan, and
Top school.
yes, everything. Then NYC moved me to Lagos, and that was how my life changed a little bit. Because moving to Lagos, everything just went. Yeah, and I must say, I first visited Canada in 2008. Sorry,
2008.
I just visited, and
Wow.
but I was just visiting and going back, so I decided to start the migration process. Then I moved here in 2015. That was when I landed.
So when you were going and coming back for visa, do you have anybody here?
Anyways, I was married then.
Okay.
So actually, I was widowed when I met my beautiful wife now.
Okay.
So my late wife was like schooling. So we're going back and forth, and it was at that point we decided to move to Canada. But unfortunately, just couldn't make it down with me. Yeah, so she passed away 2014. Then I moved 2015. I wasn't too sure at that point. Yeah, then I went back, and then I just resolved, and I just need to come. Then 2016, that was when I started my new life in Canada.
Oh, wow. Wow. May her soul rest in peace.
Thank you so much.
So how did you meet pretty Aganetha?
It's kind of interesting because we kind of opposite, and you will say opposite kind of attract. I'm very an extroverted person.
I can see that.
Yeah, and I'm very like upbeat, always moving around. As a business person, I like to network, connect. She's more on the reserve side.
Like me.
Okay, sure. Sure, but but we kind of have some commonalities, like especially when it comes to culture, the use of family. We might like different cultures in terms of she's white, Mennonite, and black, Nigerian. There's like kind of two opposites. But there's something that's like connect us in terms of family values. Those are core issues of whether it doesn't really matter which culture you find that. Use of family cut across any kind of culture and race.
Absolutely.
So you find those. So when I found that, I'm like, okay, it's kind of cool. One good thing, because dating in this part of the world is like schooling. It's a different ball game entirely.
Can you tell us a bit about that?
About that. Yeah, because of my personality, I like to like meet people, connect. So naturally, I just go for coffee, dates, and things like that. Especially when I'm looking to remarry and settle again.
Yes.
So it's like something I love to do, but then I get heartbroken easy because I'm the kind of person who like to I go all in. See that I'm in or I'm out, that's it. So I usually go all in. So, but never didn't work out. So when we first met, we actually met online.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we met online.
Online? Which of the platforms?
Oh, you want to know?
I just want to pry a little bit.
Yeah, it's Match.com.
Oh, wow.
Met on Match.com.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of, we talked for a while, for a bit, and I wasn't too sure she's serious. Yeah, because she was kind of ghosting me online. And I didn't like that, so I just gave her ultimatum. She thought I was joking. I'm a business person, so I'm like, okay, come. I'm not here because
to joke.
Yeah, I'm not here to joke.
So
I can't
you gave her that African part of you.
Yeah, and that switch was good. So when she saw that, that was when she reacted.
Okay.
So she will
tell us. Okay, all right. So Aganetha, you're going to actually take it from there. So can you share a little bit about yourself with us, your early life, and then we'll now talk about how you met Joseph.
Yes, sure. Once again, I want to thank you so much for this opportunity for us to share our relationship, our marriage views with everybody. So my name is Aganetha, now Edogbeni, which I'm so proud of. I am 34 years old. No, sorry, 35.
Oh, wow.
Time goes by. I was originally brought up in Winkler, Manitoba.
Okay.
I was originally born in Mexico, in Cuauhtemoc, Chihuahua. So my family, we migrated from Mexico to Canada. It was my parents' dream to come to Canada. And so we were very much the earlier settlers from Mexico back into Canada. So,
like, how many years ago was that?
32 years. I was 2 years of age. So I was very young. Yeah. So getting papers back then was so much simpler.
Easier.
So compared to now, people have to go through so much. But anyway, yeah, I was brought up in a Mennonite home. Very conservative, I'd say. I do have very lovely parents. They did bring me up in the way, you know, of the faith, and Lord, I appreciate that so much now because it resonates me in how I want to bring up our children in the home and in the culture that I want to bring up our children in, and yeah.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. So how did you meet this guy?
Yeah, you know what? Normally, I'm not somebody who likes to be online. So for me, I'm just like, I like to meet people physically. Meet them, get to know. I need to feel that connection. Yes. And so, you know, there's not very many options. My type in Winkler. So I was just like, let me just expand this horizon for me. And, you know, before I did that, I knew what I was looking for. You know, with the past that I've been through, it's been quite rough. And so I've been a single mom, raising 2 children for 10 years. So that was another challenge of my life that brought me into this new chapter in my life. And it really gave me good guidance to make good decisions, to know what I'm looking for, and to know and love myself. That was key.
It's very important.
Very important. So with that, me and my children, before I went online to make my my profile, we wrote down everything we were looking for, and we prayed about it, and we just left it up to God. But I knew I had to do my part as well.
Definitely.
So I did my part, and when I saw his profile, I was scanning through it. I was just like reading. I was like, "Oh, hey, this is pretty impressive." But I'm like, I don't know yet if I want to jump into this relationship. Just, I've had an experience of my first relationship, which was rough, and so he was also from Nigeria.
Oh.
So I wasn't sure if I should tread the same waters again. So for that, I really left it alone. He saw that I viewed it, and that's why he reached out to me. But I was just like, I just don't know yet. I need to first see if this is what's calling me. So I ignored it. Not that I didn't find him attractive or impressive or anything like that. I just, within myself, I wasn't sure yet.
Like that fear was there.
Yeah. I needed it to be more spiritual. So for me, I tried to view more, and I just wasn't getting what I was. So I actually canceled my subscription. So with that, then something in the back of my mind was just saying, you know what, you left something undone. You left something undone. So I was like, you know what, let me go back in. Because you have a few more days just till they actually finalize it. So I just introduced myself again to him, and that's from where it all started.
Oh, wow.
So.
And how many years have you guys been together?
It's been, I mean, she has
2019. I think 2019 we started chatting on Match.com.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, we started chatting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
2019, I think sometimes, was it April? No?
I think in March.
March?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were chatting for a couple months, and then we met each other.
The summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we chatted for like 3 months or 4
Something
months.
like that.
Yeah, before we saw. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I know about life is, God's ways are not our ways.
Exactly.
So at times we want it to happen this way, and God says, no, it is actually that way.
Yeah.
And until when we are on that lane of that way, that is when you realize, oh, no wonder that one did not work.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you very much, Aganetha, for sharing that with us. So, Joe, I'm coming back to you. So you recently received a recognition award as one of the top 10 business entrepreneurs in Manitoba. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you, ma'am.
So can you tell us more about your door-to-door air cargo and Hero Canada Incorporated? So we just want to know a little bit about that.
Thank you so much. Aero Canada Inc. Is the corporation that controls. We have 2 line of businesses. One is the freight forwarding you mentioned, and the other one is products where we import and process natural earth food products like hibiscus tea, which is Zobo.
Zobo.
Yes,
Okay.
we do shea butter. We also do Kenya teas, monk fruit, things that are more like health-based. Okay. But we focus more on things of African origin. So our newest is Kenya tea. We have 4 Kenya teas. Right now we just started selling this January, and then they're also now available on Amazon as well.
Okay.
So the other part is the freight forwarding, which is the door-to-door. The door-to-door aspect is is like the small side of it. When I first moved here, to be sincere with you, that door-to-door was never part of my business plan. Yeah, when I moved here, there was a very big challenge in terms of forex. There was a very, in short, the exchange went double. Then it was like 140 something. Then it just jumped to 300. Yeah. Then I'm like, wow, this is serious. That was when I thought of that door-to-door, because I already had the licenses for my own business. Okay. So I then decided, okay, if I can do that for my own logistics, then I can as well do that for some other people who want to send things back home. That's when I started the door-to-door. Okay. And I started to grow my freight forwarding business. There are some other Manitoba businesses that are looking to import from China, but they really can't import full container load. They just want to import less than container, little bit. So that's what I've been doing in that regard. So that's what my business is all about.
Okay, so is Aganetha part of this also, or is she the secretary?
She's actually the production manager.
Oh,
She
wow.
doesn't like the computing side. My freight forwarding is more on the online basis.
Okay.
I do a lot of collaboration with other freight forwarders like overseas.
Okay.
So it's more online. She doesn't like that. But she's more like a hands-on person. When we do our production in Warren, she handles all that.
Oh,
so, but
great.
then she's a professional painter. She can paint the whole of here. So
Wow.
in a bit. So that's what she does for a living.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Aganetha, I want to change this place color. So I'm going to give that to you. All right, Aganetha. So I presume you've met Joseph's family members, right? So,
Yes.
and have you been to Nigeria or Africa before?
I have not. I've been very close to, but there's a part of me that is just, it's calling me.
Okay.
I know, I feel it all the time. And there's a part of me that's also a little scared because it is the unknown to me. So I would love to go. We are planning to go. So I'm excited too.
So Joe, you have to build that confidence in her. What are you doing to that?
Well, as you
We
know,
need to take her home.
don't forget we're Canadians. We get to journeys differently, different route. So I don't like she's getting to know me. I like people to resolve and take their decisions. So for me, I would have been there if not for COVID. I would have. But then I really don't also want to go when she's not there yet.
Okay.
So I want her to be there, comfortable, so that she can be excited about it.
Okay.
So, but now we're at the place where we're already planning it, which means we're in the right direction.
Okay.
So don't be surprised we're talking from Lagos.
Okay, better.
Yes.
And so, Joseph, knowing the African mentality about marriage and in-laws, so how did you communicate this decision to marry Aganetha to your extended family, and how was their reaction?
Certainly it broke my mom's heart.
Oh, why?
A lot. It's just the way it is. But then, didn't know me very well that I'm not just that kind of person that they can it's not as if control, but it's more like they know I would do what I would do what's best for me, in as much as that's not what they want. But they also know that whoever I will be with will be somebody they will love.
Okay.
So those are two
sides of it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not as if after all they don't know her.
Oh, definitely.
It's just normal that people want you to marry someone of your culture, same background, similarities, so that it's a lot easier. They can reach out to in-laws, things like that. But for me, I see it more like a very small thing that I'm not even affected by it. So I have my own joy, I have my own happiness. So because it's all about me, for God's sake. So in a way, I thought about all that. When I'm looking for someone who is excited about my culture, who is excited about my people, even if she hasn't met them. Because it's all about family, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just marry to me, you marry the culture, you marry the people. So, and same thing on our own side too, because same fare. So,
yeah. So you know, I know the way African mothers are, and I know the way they can take something and make it so bogus and all.
Yes.
How were you able to convince your mom?
Everything was kind of strategic. She wanted to get to talk to my mom, but I know that wasn't the right time. So because she needed that comfort, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, but I know how to. I knew what my mom wanted. I knew what she wants to hear. So as soon as the time was right, I made those connections, and they were able to connect. When my mom spoke to her, she was so excited to speak to her.
Oh, wow.
Because the time was right.
The time was right.
Right?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah,
I
and
could just hear it in her voice. She was so happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And Aganetha, how did your parents take Joe, considering the fact that you had one with a Nigerian that did not work very well? So what was their reaction?
Their reaction at first was they weren't surprised either, but they were shocked as well, because they were like, haven't you learned a lesson through all this? But in the back of my mind and in my heart, I just I just like, not everyone, that one person doesn't represent everybody.
Yes.
And I said, just because one person has mistreated you so much doesn't mean someone else will. I said, what matters is their belief. If you believe the same things, if you have the same values, what are their values? You have to really look into stuff like that. So my parents, it was a very, very touching. I really involved my parents this time around. It was actually my dad's decision this time.
Okay.
And I really told my dad, if you really don't feel comfortable with this marriage, Dad, I will listen to what you say, because this had hurt my whole family, and we've been through so much. So I really wanted to respect my parents, to let them know this is a decision I'm involving you guys all in. Yes. And I want you to be content and happy, knowing I'll be in the hands of someone safe, someone who's going to love me and be there for me. So my dad was very, very happy after I gave him that privilege.
Wow.
And it was very touching.
I love that.
Very touching.
I love that, yeah. I know, one thing about life is that we all go through so many things. We go through different experiences about life. But I love one thing that you said earlier, and that's that we can't use one yardstick to judge and measure everybody.
Exactly.
So it's just different individuals, and we give it a second chance.
Yeah.
And absolutely, this one will work.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name.
Yeah.
So on that note, we quickly go on a short break, and I will be right back.
Hello there, I am Buki Sholanke of Maximum Realty, your favorite real estate agent. With almost 15 years as a real estate professional, starting from United Kingdom and in Canada to being a licensed realtor here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, I am passionate in helping people make the right decision when it's time for them to purchase their dream homes and in selling their properties. I walk with you every step of the way, throughout all the process, to ensure that you do not fail. The professionalism, personal touch, and genuine empathy that I employ in getting the job done are what set me apart, and also help build strong bond with all my clients, which makes them to always come back, as well as refer their friends and families to me. Call me today on 204-997-6117 to schedule an appointment, and I am all yours. Buki Sholanke, your trusted family realtor.
So you are welcome back from that short commercial break. And I'm sure you are having a wonderful time, as I am, with Joe and Aganetha. And as requested, we have continued to discuss the topic intercultural marriage. And I welcome you to the second segment of today's episode on your program, The Platform. So Joe, before we went on that short break, you said you want to say something. Yeah, can you go on?
Yes, considering Aganetha's circumstance and history, because most of our conversations are actually around that, so at the point whereby I wanted to take that step, I actually said to her that before I proposed to her, I would have to get her father's blessing. So she thought I was joking, but we're used to that back home. You don't want to like involve the family and things like that. So when I reached out to the dad, he was actually shocked and he was honored. So he was very receptive to it, and it's just and he told me his concerns. his concerns are not different from my mom's, which is the issue of cultural differences. And but the only thing he said that because we're of the same faith, that gives him hope, and the fact that he has seen the way we've been relating, so that gives him comfort. That doesn't have a problem with it. And he prayed for me, and then that was how we ended it. Then to build on that, naturally, she would want like a romantic kind of proposal.
Okay.
Kind of.
Like you kneel down.
Yeah.
And there are flowers everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Cinderella story.
This kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But I had to be practical with things, considering that our family is kind of a little bit extended. Yeah, they kind of connected a whole lot. And I've seen that the easiest way is to assuage that extension. So, and they were having, the sister just moved into a ranch somewhere in Modern. And I'm like, okay, they're having a, was it dinner? No, it was a lunch, isn't it?
Yeah, it was lunch.
It was lunch, yeah. So everybody was there. I'm like, okay, this is perfect day to propose. So that it's no longer a rumor. So I just chose to propose that day.
Wow, and she didn't know?
No, she didn't know.
How was that?
Oh, he caught me so off guard. I was so excited for my sister because they're moving into a place that they really wanted to be in, and you know, just being there with my whole family is what brings me joy. So Joe's like, should we dress formal or casual? And that was the key, and I didn't pick up on that. And I was like, just wear whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, we're kind of helping them get into their new home. So for me, I didn't really know what he meant by that.
The sister is aware. Virtually everyone is aware.
Okay, exactly. I love that.
So it was very interesting experience. Yeah. So I really love that. So I'm really glad that I did that. It was Father's Day, right?
Oh.
Was it?
Yes, it was Father's Day.
Yeah. Father's Day. I'm sure your daddy will love this.
Yeah, it made it special too because I'm really close with my father. So for him to do it on Father's Day too, he just knew.
Don't worry,
what
we Africans, we
so
know how
much.
to do that.
That's good.
Yeah, so talking about your sister's moving and her husband into a ranch, can we just talk a bit about the Mennonite culture and tradition? I've heard a lot, but you know, I want to hear from you directly. Yeah.
So the Mennonites, they are a very hardworking people. They migrated from, I do believe it's Poland, Ukraine area. I don't know the details of where we've all come from, but I know in that area. So in the 1800s, they had come to Canada. And from what my father has told me, his grandfather was Canadian citizen. So from there, we wanted to preserve our culture and our faith and the way we raise our own children. So that's why our culture moved down to Mexico, because in Canada they really wanted to, you know, give us that public education and things like that, and we really wanted to conserve that part of us. So we moved down to Mexico, where we started settling in the northern part of Mexico, and that's from where my parents were born. And then I was also born there, and that's when my parents moved to Canada. And
So one of the things that I've heard about the Mennonites is that the Mennonites don't marry out of their culture.
No.
Okay.
No, it's very, very odd for them to do that. It's more or less a very, it's against their belief to
marry out.
So they feel there's a lot of fear there as well, and just the unknown, uneducated about different cultures. So that, I think, was something that, you know, had a bit of a struggle with me growing up, because I was always taught certain things about other cultures. And for me, I was, always questioning why.
Why that? Why
And that
this?
was one thing I really want to thank my parents for, allowing me to ask questions why.
Right.
While other parents would just shut that door for children and not let them express and get information. So, with us being in Canada, I was now exposed to the African culture through school. My geography teacher used to go and teach in Africa.
Oh, wow.
So he would bring photos and stories back, and that's when I met, through photos, the first group of African people.
Wow.
And I just fell in love with the stories he would say of how loving they were, how accepting they were, and just, it was a whole different picture than what I was brought up to here. So I just fell in love with the African culture, or the African continent in itself. I didn't know yet the cultures that reside in Africa, but I just knew my heart was calling to it at that point. So for me, I've always, my dad, he's told Joe many times, he has a black daughter and white skin.
Oh,
That's how he sees me. That's how connected I am with the African culture. That I listen to their music. I like to dress in their outfits.
Wow. I love that.
So, it's very odd for a Mennonite to jump into that kind of a relationship.
Yes.
I was definitely looked down upon in my choice.
Wow.
In my community, thinking that I was somebody who was being rebellious, somebody who was not keeping
like you don't
tradition.
want to conform to the tradition.
Right. So, but for me, I told my parents how I would feel about things, and they knew where I was coming from. But other people, they didn't understand.
Because they don't understand.
They didn't ask questions. They assumed, and that's where problems would arise. So, I would just very much educate your own children.
Yeah.
Just look into it. It doesn't mean you have to make that decision. Just observe, educate yourself, and you'll come to realize if you want to make that step or not. So getting to know the African culture, I kind of made my pinpoint to Nigeria. So
I love that.
Yeah.
We love you. So that takes me to my next question. Thank you so much for sharing that. So the African community is actually built on collectivism, all right? Whereby we extend family and we viewed as part of the nuclear family, right? However, the Canadian culture tends to be more individualistic, all right? Like, I want to have my space, I want to have a me time, because I hear that a lot. And so, Aganetha, how have you been able to blend this together in your union?
that's a good question. Well, for myself, I have a lot of family values that I still carry from my Mennonite culture because we do have very large families.
Yes.
So, and with our neighbors and family members close by in the same community, we still really much connect. We rely on each other for help, like childcare, helping the elderly, things like that. So in Canada, we've really noticed that it has now become more isolated. Like, you have to take care of your own children now. You have to, the seniors are put in senior homes and they're not cared for like we would have done in Mexico, or, stayed in our community closer. So for that, I don't really like that aspect because no one's an island.
Yes.
We all need each other. And I really wanted to look for a partner that connected that with me. And if I had that self-value of where it was just me, I can do everything myself, I don't need you, then this relationship would be much harder.
Yeah, right.
So I think that connection is extremely important.
And how does Joe feel about that?
Well, it's the same feeling. So, because to be sincere, she doesn't even have that kind of like individualistic kind of thing. I'm a person of like a people person. Just like at times I still live as if I'm in Lagos. People just call me up, are you at home? And they just show up.
Yeah.
Then my wife is busy doing something. All those things. So it's just because she's used to that. So it's not as if I'm teaching her.
Okay.
So I don't need to give her a sign, go do this. She just flow because she's used to that.
All right.
So it's kind of, there's a little commonalities in
Oh
that.
yeah, oh yeah. Thank you, Joe. Well, thankfully, Oreze, I think I pronounced it very well, right?
Oreze, yeah.
Your pretty daughter is a perfect combination of both of you. And so, Joe, would you be teaching her your local language? And what are your plans to blend both cultures into her as she grows up?
Well, I really wish I can teach her. I pray I can. I wish.
This is not a matter of prayer. This is what has to be done.
I desire it. But it'd be a lot easier if my wife speaks my language. Like she speaks German. She wishes I speak German, but I don't. So
Then let her teach you. You teach her your language.
I will see. Things like that, to be sincere with you, I will see. I know she possibly can learn Yoruba easier because that's more international, and there are platforms where she can learn it.
Okay.
If she's interested, then she can. But the Isoko would have been a language I would love to teach her.
Don't
that was a small,
Isoko might be too complex for her.
You see, that's my point. So the question is, as she grows, is she interested? Those are the questions. I cannot. My dad really forced me to learn Isoko, and I really loved it now.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Wow. So, well, you can't do that here. Yes.
It's a different ballgame entirely.
Exactly.
And mothers actually have more influence on the children.
See my point? They will speak because our two other kids, they speak German, so they understand that. So I see her speaking that. Even when grandma, whenever we go to Winkler, she speaks German to her.
Oh, wow.
So I still don't know how my mom would take that. So.
Well, you have to find a way to just do it. And I know you can do it. And Aganetha, do you even want to learn Joe's language?
Of course.
Wow.
You know, that's a part of connecting to what I feel is calling me. But I'm trying. I think there's a few words that I do know.
Okay, can you just tell me one or two of them?
Oh gosh, on spot. Auntie told me this one. Which one was it?
Is it how to greet?
Yes.
Okay, can you remind her?
Oh gosh.
You're almost there. You're almost saying it now.
I know, I'm almost saying it.
Okay, let's give you some.
I might need some help. I haven't said it for a while, so.
Yes, I talked about Digwa.
Yes.
So what's the meaning of that?
Digwa is just like saying, it could mean good morning, it could mean thank you, it could mean, it's a general greeting in
General greeting in Isoko.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could say Digwa.
Digwa.
Yeah, you know.
I'm greeting you
usually
now.
an elderly person, don't say it.
Okay,
It's
so
a
it comes
junior-
from a junior to an
yes,
elderly
to
person.
an elderly person.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay.
you don't want to do that.
Okay. I don't know the meaning either because I'm not from it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And I also saw your beautiful wedding pictures on the social media, and you guys look so charming, especially in the traditional attires. So, Aganetha, how did you feel dressing up like a Nigerian? And how often do you hope to do so?
I was just surprised to see how well she had made my dress.
Oh.
She is actually a fashion designer in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was give her my measurements.
Yeah.
And she knew exactly
where to put those
where to
bits
put
and
the curves,
pieces.
where to put everything. And on photos, the colors, they didn't look so bright and clear and nice. But I said, you know what? It is what it is. It's going to come. We're going to just wear it and let it be. And when I opened the bag for the first time, the colors were so bright.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. So when I tried it on, I was like, I just felt like this was supposed to be. And it fits so nice. So yes, I definitely want to continue to wear the traditional clothing. I have so many ideas of how I would like to even design some of them.
Oh, wow.
Have someone, I don't know how to fashion design
Yeah.
things, but I have ideas, so I would
You
love
have what you're looking for in your
Yes,
mind.
of
Yeah?
how it's supposed to fit,
Yeah.
different textures of clothing materials, things like that. So I have many ideas I'd like to express. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I know Joe will help you out because
Yeah.
back in Nigeria we've got lots of fashion designers, and when they make it, you just go, "Wow!" You know.
Yeah.
I'm sure Joe can help with that,
Yeah,
right?
the lady who made those clothes, she's gonna make her. It's actually my friend's wife, so.
Okay, does the
they
person stay here in Canada?
No, they live in Lagos.
They live in Lagos.
Yeah,
Nigeria, okay.
but they're planning to move to UK, but I don't know when. Maybe if they are there, we will see them.
Okay.
Otherwise, anyway, there are so many of them in Lagos, so.
Okay. All right. So does Joe prepare or teach you the local delicacies?
yes, he does.
So which one of them?
Well, he's taught me a lot of the cooking there, and the language we're trying.
So for the food, which one can you prepare, or which one has he taught you to prepare?
Well, the jollof rice.
Oh wow,
That's-
Nigerian jollof
Yes.
rice.
I'm not yet to the spice
Okay.
side of it yet, but I think I've got it down to what all needs to come into it.
Okay,
Yeah, and then
and what
there's-
else?
There's pepper soup,
Oh
and then
wow.
there's the beef stew, my
Oh,
favorite.
Oh wow.
Yes, if we put goat in it, it's okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what are you going to eat those with?
I don't like the texture of Gary. Sorry, I've tried it.
It's
like
okay.
the texture.
I don't eat it too. Anyway.
So I just like it the way it is.
Okay.
And, yeah.
And that's it.
That's
And
it.
Joe, how do you cope with that?
Well, she's really has surprised me a lot. Like she can even make akara.
Wow.
Like, she makes dodo, all those things.
I'm going to
The bean
congratulate
cake.
you
Yeah,
and bean cake.
That's
one of
akara,
these
yeah.
Saturday morning, because it's like a tradition back home that we have to take akara and we call something ogi.
It will be pap.
That is pap. Every Saturday morning. It's like a culture, like a tradition back home.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning in most homes. So it's like akara, the bean cake, or moi moi,
Yeah.
made also from beans
Okay.
with pap. We call it ogi. Every
She
Saturday
likes
morning.
akara more. I mix more too, but she likes akara more.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think I need to taste some of your akara. Aganetha.
Akara is,
absolutely.
akara
It's
is
top
very-
notch.
Yes.
Oh,
Akara is,
now I'm
you
salivating.
will like it.
Oh,
She
wow.
makes- Yeah.
And
We
some
always have
oh,
in the freezer, like the beans is peeled.
Yeah.
We always have in the freezer. So when you feel like, we can just make it sharp.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a surprise visit one of these days. So that akara is like making me salivate right now.
Yeah.
I love akara myself.
Akara
In fact, I love beans. It's my best food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I'm starting from Joe. Any advice or advices you have for our youths planning to get married, particularly those scared of intercultural marriage?
I'll just say it all depends on who you are. Yeah, usually it's all about who you are. For someone like me, most of my friends are not surprised that I'm married to a white woman. They just tell me it's just natural for me. They know I can end anywhere. So I will always say be open-minded. It's not, I don't think, to be said, deep down, I wasn't looking for a white person. To be said. I just want like my culture because I see I have things going on. I want somebody I can travel back home with and things like that. So I wasn't looking that way. So, but when you find the other half, and it's much, much better and peaceful, so what else you want to look for? So it's a factor of what really works for you. But for that to really work, you need open-mindedness. It's as simple. That's what there's a lot that come with being open-minded, because then you learn culture, you learn language, you learn a whole lot. There's not just you, because there's so much give and take for it to work. That's the way I look at it.
And Aganetha, what advice do you have for our youth there planning to do something like this?
Yes, my advice to the youth and the young people that would decide to marry intercultural is, follow your heart. Really get to know the person. Know your own standards. Love yourself. Someone else isn't going to rise you to make you love yourself. You have to love yourself first. and get to know them, get to know their culture if you choose to, go into another culture as well. That would be my advice.
All right, so before we call it, a wrap for today, I'll just quickly throw this in here. Since you guys came together, have you ever gone through any challenge of any sort? I know there are challenges though, but can you just share one with us?
One in particular will be with the kids, because she has kids that are like getting teenage.
Okay.
We have one teenager and the other one's turning teenager. And,
Okay.
For me, I'm used to kids. I love kids a lot. So I also have a son who is 19 by next month. And I would just say it comes from like value, because those kids are very smart.
Yes.
Yeah, because the love of the parents, they abuse it a lot, knowing fully that you're still going to be the parent anyways. So they are just more for the moment. So the only thing they wouldn't succeed to do is to divide us, because we are like on the same page. We've talked about everything. As in, when I say everything, from the one when we first met for coffee, it turned to like episode. We were there for 3 hours.
Wow.
She had to. What happened? The school bus came, or what happened? No, you had to arrange for them to be picked up in school. So that's tell you, because for me, I won't drive all the way to Winkler. Then I will come back with, I won't know what I want. So I'm like, today is today. Let's just trash it off. I'm not going to make this trip twice.
Yeah.
I might as well just optimize. So we actually talked a lot.
Okay.
So that was, I would say, I wouldn't say it's like a challenge in a negative way. It's something like new and something to learn from.
Learning to adapt.
Yes, I think so. And to be sincere, things are looking good.
Great.
But I think she's in a better position to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aganetha, can we hear from you?
Yeah, everyone's going to face challenges. Everyone does. And that's one thing that some people will think like, oh, they have it better than me. What are they doing right that I'm not doing right? And it's not about that. It's about facing your circumstances, what you're in now. And, just covering all aspects of how can I deal with the situation I'm in right now. And like Joe was mentioning, on our first date, it was, I'm glad he was just direct to the point, because that's what I was looking for. I was direct and also to the point. I wasn't looking for any, beating around the bush. He was very direct, and I was very, that was just what grabbed me. Otherwise, I would have, made it 20 minutes and out of there. But, he really explained to me.
He knew what he wanted and he just went for it.
Yeah, so he was very surprised on how well the children were doing with, under my own care for 10 years.
10 years.
So they're still doing
Yeah, that was
doing
a
very
good one anyway.
Yeah.
I would say to her that in this part of the world, for you to have done this, I know what it takes to raise kids.
To raise kids and all
It's a
that.
lot of work.
Yeah.
So that way it makes the job a lot easier for me. Especially when we're on the same page, then it's there. So we're like, because those kids are so smart.
Of course.
I know. So when they play those guys, I just laugh. And when it comes to things like that, I'm very patient. I just chill. You're coming back to the other
Alrighty.
It takes a very strong soul like Joe has. He has such a good heart. I am so thankful to God that I have met him. He is so patient with myself, dealing with the children, and the conversations we have about how we're going to handle the situations with children. Some other people would use different approaches, but Joe has like a patience of, a very, very strong person. So it takes a good mindset to be patient as well with the things that happen, and know that the circumstance that you're in isn't going to last forever. It will pass over.
Definitely.
And it's just getting over it and trying your best to be patient and positive to get through it is the key. And better days are yet to come,
Yeah.
which we are seeing.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So
Thank you very much.
yes,
I want to
thank
say a
you.
very big thank you to you for coming on the program today. And
Thank
also,
you.
Joe, thank you for bringing Aganetha.
Thank you for having
And
us.
hopefully, one of these days also we'll still call you back.
Yeah.
I hope you're going to heed to our call.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank
ma'am.
you.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
A lot of time, people only focus on the challenges of intercultural marriage. In the past 2 episodes, we have been able to identify the gains of intercultural marriage, and I've come to a conclusion that the benefits actually outweighs the challenges. As we continue the fight against racism, discrimination, and other life challenges, intercultural marriage remains a viable tool to breaking the barriers and solving the challenges. We are all one body in Christ. And finally, on behalf of STO Global Concept, I am inviting you to Praise Explosion, and that is going to come up in June and June 25 precisely. Watch out for more details. Until I come your way again, continue to inspire and transform the world. With love, I remain your host, Bumi Odunton.